So now I'm going to show you an easy workflow for going through and completing your evaluation report. So as the case manager, I am coming in and I am clicking on Edit in order to enter the student's eval report. As a evaluator, you would be coming through on the My Evaluations, and you will come and click individually into certain student reports. So you can come in and say, I'm doing a language sample on this student. I'm going to come in, click on where it says no report, and here's my template where I can finish the template and enter information. Now this is the individual evaluation reports, so this is not automatically put into the summary of the evaluations or the actual report. This is put into a separate area. So think of your evaluation report and your summary of evaluations as being two completely different areas. When you write something in the individual evaluation reports, you're going to need to append it into the summary of evaluation. So I'm going to show you if I were a speech clinician and I came in, I clicked on the language sample. That was a piece that I needed to finish, and I come in and I might add some more information, interpret what was going on. I can come down and I'm going to submit. I'm going to save and continue because I want to stay on this page. Submit would take me to the next section that I wanted to do. So I'm going to save and continue and stay here. So it's submitted. And I want to remind you guys to submit often. We're supposed to have a 60-minute time frame that your work sits there and it doesn't unlog you if you're not doing activity. But we all know what happens in special education. You might be sitting at your desk, you get a phone call, or a student needs you in the hallway and there's a situation and you may be pulled out suddenly. And if that happens, there's a high potential that you could lose your work if you don't get back to your desk within, say you were already 20 minutes into your task or you were already 30 minutes into typing and you don't come back for another 30, it could be gone. So please just submit as often as possible. So I've typed in my individual report. I've hit save and continue like I had said. And then remember that spell check is here. So you can pull up spell check. Ignore. I want to ignore all. Obviously I didn't spell that correctly, so it'll give me suggestions and then I can replace. I'm going to tell it to ignore. Yep, I am finished. Okay, and so now as a speech clinician, I know I am done with this. So I'm going to turn this into complete and I'm going to hit submit. So you will also notice then that that disappears from the area here. So you no longer see the language sample that I did. It went away. I completed it. This is the same student. I'm going to show you how you can kind of enter back into it. You can either select case and go search for the student and enter into their eval that way. Or you know you have another piece, you can always come here, click, and this is another area that I can complete, but I can also go to Summary of Evaluation right here. And now here is the eval report, the actual report where we want you to take all your information from your individual eval reports and pull them into here. So that was a communication piece, so I'm going to click Communication. And I am going to append an individual report. I'm going to append what I just typed in. And I just did the language sample, which is right here. And it'll even tell you over here that I had it incomplete, so I did it. Often you will come in and do this after you've filled out all areas, so all of these might say complete. And what you do then is you number what you want to come in first, because these might not be in the order that you actually want them to go in the report. So you could put a 1 here, say these were complete, I could have put a 2, I could put a 3, and it will pull all of these things in here. Now these are not incomplete, so it would give me a warning saying, are you sure you want to pull that in? And I can say, yeah, I do. I want the templates to just come in and I'm gonna work on them in there. So we can say we want to pull all of it in that order. And I'm gonna append. And now, under the communication section, in the actual eval report, so in the summary of evaluations, all of those pieces pulled in. So my language sample that I had added stuff to pulled in, and the templates for the other 2 areas that I hadn't completed individually also pulled in. So this brings up brings about kind of a piece for you, how you feel you work better. You can work in these individual evaluation reports. You can type everything in there and you can click append and it will all come over that way. Or you could completely skip working in those individual reports. You can come right in here into the summary. You could pull in all the templates just like I just did. Remember, they don't even need to be incomplete. You can pull in all of the templates in the order you want them to be in. And then you can come in and you can work and edit straight from here. I find it a lot easier to work straight in here in the summary of evaluations, which is the final place for the report, instead of working in multiple different areas. I feel like there's a lot of back and forth when you do that. If I pulled something in from evaluation report, so if I amended something already, and then I go back to my individual evaluation report and I change something in there, it won't change it in here for me. So those things are two separate. So my workload is very much that I come in to my individual evaluation reports, and I'll do it one more time so that you can see. So I'm going to go back. So whether you're the case manager or a service provider, you can still do this. Come in and I want to edit. So here's the individual reports that I am responsible for this child. So I am doing the intellectual section. I'm going to click in there if I want to go work on it individually and then type everything up. I do not want to do it that way. I'm going to choose that I want to write everything for intellectual right within the body of the evaluation report. So what I'm going to do then, instead of writing in that individual section, is I'm going to click right here on evaluation report summary. It's going to pull up the entire eval for me. I'm going to go to intellectual. And it's blank, of course, because I'm just starting. And I'm going to choose to append all the individual reports to this section right away. So I am going to pull in, and sometimes you'll see things pop up in multiple different areas because they can be tested in different areas. These top ones right here are my main for eval. So I'm going to put my parent interview is going to be at the top. My review of records is going to be next, my observation of the student, and then my actual evaluation or standardized assessment is going to be the last thing. So I'm going to pull all of those things in. I numbered them 1 to 4 in the order I wanted them in. I'm going to hit append sequence sections. And if you notice those templates, there wasn't much to most of them. But now it pulled that in for me just like that. And I am going to work straight from here. So then you can come right here, you can take out your ... on such and such date, and continue on with the information. A review of records was completed. Enter more info there. Observation was completed. Enter information, and then here is my standardized assessment data. I come in, I change what I need to do, I can add more, put an interpretation, type as much as I feel that I need to, and then when I feel that this looks good, save and continue will keep me on this page, submit and next will take me to the next in the menu that I'm currently in, which would mean it would take me down to academic. So I'm going to save and stay here, save and continue, so it'll keep me here. And then now that it's saved, I know it's safe, I'm going to spell check it. I'm going to ignore my wonderful spellings, and you need to ignore abbreviations, obviously. Hit save again or submit again. And now, instead of working within those two separate areas, I worked solely within the within the intellectual section of the actual report. And now I can move my way down the body of the report. So I can go and do the same thing for academic. I'm in academic now. I want to pull in, append individual reports to this section. I can come over, see what's under academic. I had not selected any academic procedures. I had put in only intellectual. So you would probably have some there, and you could append those over. Another thing that you might see, let's take social, for example. I might have been in charge of 3 of the things and a colleague might have been in charge of 2 others. So often we ask that whoever does that certain, if your psychologist did the BASC, we would like for them to pull it in and append it themselves. You might notice that they didn't do it, so you might need to pull and append their pieces over as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through everything and you're going to type in and fill out each area. We have prompts and specific info for you at the top. And after you feel you have completed an area, you put it into complete. So I'm saying that one's done. I'm going to go to intellectual. We filled that puppy out and we're going to say that one is done and hit submit. And you are going to continue to go down and pull either append or pull in or write directly within here. If you do not need the templates, not everything has templates. The parent interview one isn't really a template. So you could quickly type in an interview was completed on and not need to append over the template. So you're going to continue to write in each area, save and continue, or again, you could click next so it goes down. We're going to enter, we had entered a language sample, a little bit of that before. So we're going to get that into complete. Motor, same thing. I'm going to get that into complete. Save. Remember to spell check every section. That's extremely important, and thoroughly read through every section because spell check does not catch everything. Put that into complete. Health, physical, and sensory. Complete. Believe. It's academic. We got something in intellectual. Put it in complete. So now I've entered or appended all the information on the child's development in these areas as we've seen it based on the evaluation report. I've also completed the background information. The next section is the comprehensive summary. This is where you and the team are going to enter a summary that shows the relative strengths and areas of concern across all areas addressed in the previous section. So this is where you pull everything together. And then you're going to spell check it and hit complete. My summary is now done. Determination of eligibility. This is where we are going to be pulling in eligibility criteria. So we actually have templates set up for you at the top. So if you are looking at DD criteria, or if you're looking at EBD, DCD, speech and language, they are all here. So what you're going to do is you're going to select whichever criteria it is that you are looking for, and you are going to add the template, and it's going to pull it in for you. Now that doesn't mean you're done. You need to look through this, and you need to look specifically for carets and things that are underlined. This is where you need to fill out data and summarize things. If there are carets left in your report, it will not let you finalize. So wherever there's a caret, we've done that on purpose so that you come in and you enter data. So I'm going to get rid of the carets so that we are able to finalize. So I would be adding information here instead of just deleting the carets. And the underlined pieces often are telling you what you need to be choosing or what you need to be typing within that. We've tried to give you a lot of help and assistance. Most of the information is there. It just needs to be edited. So you're going to fill out the criteria, and even the child's name comes through. You can say whether they, in summary, based on results of this evaluation, test child meets or does not meet. We're going to say meets for DCD, and then you can choose for what. And often I do take off the underline. I don't think things need to be exaggerated and accentuated anymore for our families. So you can take out the underline. Those are more prompts and cues for you. If you'd like to leave them, that's okay. You can also leave them. So our last one is always a summary statement. It looks like I've gotten rid of all of the carets. Obviously, you'll be getting rid of the underlines as you'll be making choices. You also might be pulling. So you may also not just be pulling in one template. You might be pulling in multiple. So you can continue the same procedure for multiple different criteria templates. So you could then be coming in and you could be picking out a speech and language one, and you can append that, and then it'll pop up immediately under the last template so that you put in there. And make sure you go in the same thing and you edit and complete anything that needs to be done in there. Save and continue often, and then spell check it. There's often a lot of spelling errors that can happen in here. And then put it into complete and save and continue. So now I have completed all the areas of development. I've completed the summary, and I've completed the determination of eligibility. There's also the section of present level. You're going to put in the present level of academic and functional performance. You are going to write in the educational needs and any adaptations or modifications that you think the child needs. Spell check and complete. And now we have completely finished up the evaluation report summary. So that's what's highlighted here. We've done all of that right here. But we still need to continue to go down through these last three areas. So remember, the first area is the individual eval reports, and you do not have to write in there. I chose to write completely in here. So now we have to finish up these last areas. The determination of eligibility. It's going to put in the due date up here, so if you're finishing it early or you're finishing it late, which we hope not, you can come in and you can edit that date here. We said that the child meets criteria, meets entrance criteria. It might be a reevaluation, and so that would be down here that the child continues to meet for the have eligibility based on that. Depending on how you and your team do it, report completed by, we often complete or add our entire team right there. It will print off on the front page, and then your case manager information will stay right there, and hit submit. Your next page then, you're going to select the disabilities. I believe we had said DCD, and then we had also picked a speech and language. So you pick your primary, one primary, and then you can have multiple secondary. If the child did not qualify at all, that's where you would select evaluated but not eligible. And you can also, if you made some errors, you can click here on clear the primary disability, and you notice it goes away. And then I'm going to come back and just select that. So hit submit. And that is done. And student information, like most times, there's usually not much to change. All of that information is in there. So I have gone through all of these areas. These four main areas are the things where everything needs to be complete. Again, individual evaluation report was my choice, whether I wanted to write everything there and then append it over. So now I'm going to check completeness and see how we did. Oh, I forgot a caret. So this is a good thing to see. So you can see here the areas that are not done. So let's just start at the top and make sure. So here it tells me I left carets. So let's go in and see if we can find the carets. Here they are. So you would be entering some information in there. Hit submit. All right, so let's check again. So you just keep going through this. This often happens with evaluation reports because it's just such a large document. Summary of results. Non-required section status is still in draft. So let's go look. So this is under individual report. And I had actually come in here and played around. So it's telling me it would like me to put it into complete because I'd come and I'd messed with it a little bit. So I'm going to hit submit. You don't need to put all of those draft areas into final, but if you've messed around with it, it's going to ask that you do that. So let's check completeness again. Oh, more checks. Okay. Oh, another carrot. So, make sure they're not over. Okay, you go down. All right, and we're going to check completeness again and see if we've got it. I think there was one more section that was maybe in draft, if I remember. Oh, I got it. So it did give me a warning. It said evaluation report date should not be in the future. You know, we had said the due date for this was in September. So it's telling me that it's in the future. So, but we're going to accept that for right now. And I'm going to make my evaluation report final. And there you have it. You can click here just like any other document. And here is our beautiful report. And you can print it, you can download it. And there you have it. That is how we make an eval report.